In this video, I'm going to show you how to use characters from Xandra Character Creator in the Game Animation Sample project, previously known as ALS. The reason I integrated in specifically this way is because I want to retain the customization features and the character creator appearances while adding the movement of the Game Animation Sample controller. First, download the latest version of the character creator. Change your version of Unreal to the same one being used by the Game Animation Sample project. In my case, it's 5.4. I'm going to right-click on the U project and change the version to 5.4, and also run the installer.bat file and type in 5-4. Press enter. Open the Character Creator project. I'm going to right-click on the Character Creator folder and click on Migrate. And I'll migrate everything that's selected into the Game Animation Sample project, the content folder. I'll click yes to overriding anything in the project. Once you've migrated over the content, make sure to copy the plugins folder from Xandra Character Creator into the Game Animation Sample project too. So now we have the Character Creator files. You'll notice in the Game Animation Sample that there's a UE5 Mannequins project. Under that, in the Meshes folder, there's an sk_mannequin asset. This is the same one that the Xandra characters are using in this folder here. So what I'm going to do is delete the one in the Xandra characters folder, and I'll choose to replace the references with the one being used by the animation sample project. So by replacing references, I'm going to retarget everything in the character creator to the UE5 mannequin skeleton that Game Animation Sample is using. What we have to do now is find the retargeted characters folder under blueprints. So if you're adding a male character, select the Manny character, and if you're adding a female character, select the Quinn character. I'm going to add a female character, so I'll select Quinn. Let's open it up, and we can see the skeletal mesh asset here. So basically, we need to replace this with one of the heads. I'm going to choose head Quinn. But the Xandra characters are modular and they have a whole bunch of customization options, all of that kind of thing. And I want to keep that within this blueprint. What I want to do is add a reference to the Xandra custom character. Change this variable, change it to Xandra custom char, this one, and make that a class reference. Now we want to add some important information in the construction script. Let's create a new function and we'll call this custom character attach. Open this up and I'm going to right click and create a spawn actor. Spawn actor from class. Okay, so we'll connect this in. And I'm going to add an input here. So let's add an input and we will add a Xandra custom character here and make this a class reference. And type in character class here. And we'll just drag this. Now for the spawn transform, we'll get a reference to self. And get actor transform, and then just plug this into this part here. Expand this window down as far as it will go by pressing on the arrow until you get this owner, and plug the self into the owner. I want to drag off of this and promote this to a variable, and in here I'll type attach character. One more thing I'm going to do is I'll just add a scene component here and I'll call this attach. This is just going to be a reference to the point where I'm going to attach the character. Alright, now I'm going to search for attach component to component, this one right here, and drag in the attach point, and that's going to go into the parent, into the parent, and then your attached character, drag this out and search for root, get root component, and drag this into the target, and just connect this up as well. So basically what we're saying is we want the root of the character to be attached to this attached object. We also need to change the location rule to keep world and the rotation rule to keep world. The scale rule can stay to keep relative. And then we're going to drag out from the attached character again, and we'll type in mesh, get mesh. And we want to set the animation instance class now, because we want to make it use a specific animator, which is going to enable it to copy the animations that the mesh in this blueprint is using. So we will go set anim instance class. Drag this into here. Now we need to create this anim instance class. In the character creator blueprints folder, I'm just going to put it here. I'll right click and I will create a new animation blueprint. Choose the correct skeleton, so that's SK mannequin, and click create. I'll call this ABP GASP retarget. Open this up. So we'll add a variable, which is for a skeletal mesh component. Make sure that this is a skeletal mesh component and not just a skeletal mesh, because this is a component of a blueprint that we're adding. Rename this to root mesh, and then drag and drop this in here. Then we'll create a node called copy pose from mesh. This one right here. Drag and drop this in there, and then drag this into the result. Let's add the physics to this one as well. We'll also open the original ABP Xandra master. And basically what we want to do to enable the physics on the character, go into the anim graph, and we just want to copy all of this physics information. So we've got a bunch of spring controllers here. So we'll copy everything between the cache poses. So all of the physics controls right here, and we'll paste them into our GASP retargeted controller. So we'll drag out from this end pose here, and we'll type in cache, and I'll call this default pose. So this is our output pose here. This is going to happen after the physics now. So then I'll scroll down to where we're adding the spring controllers, and before this local to component mode, I'll type in default pose, and I'll use the cache pose that we just made. Use case pose default pose. I'll add that into there, and then I'll basically take the end of this blend poses by bool now and drag this into the output pose and compile that. I'll get a few warnings, and I'm actually going to bypass all of this and the last spring controller bone here. So I'll delete these and then just go straight from spring controller bone glute, drag that into the output pose. I also just want to change the default character here to make sure that the correct bones are being used. So I'll change the mesh here to one of the heads. We'll just go with head Quinn, just whatever head is fine, and compile and save this. Okay, now that we've made and saved this animation blueprint, we'll come back to our CBP sandbox character Quinn, where we were making that function before and where we have this set anim instance class node, and currently it's empty. So let's choose our new animation blueprint in here, which is ABP X3D GASP retarget. So I think this is all looking good, except we actually have to call this function now. And let's just do this on event begin play. So right here, we will drag this custom character attached into the event graph, and from event begin play, we'll just drag into this custom character attach. Make sure to set the character class being chosen to BP Xandra custom character as well here in the event graph. In our animation controller, we're referencing a root mesh here, but currently this isn't being set. So let's create a new function called custom character animate. We can create an input, which is a Xandra custom character, an object reference, and we'll call this attached character. So let's drag out from this and we'll get the mesh component, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and it'll be under character get mesh. So basically this is getting the actual mesh from the character creator. Then we're going to get the anim instance and we'll cast this to the ABP X3D GASP animator that we just made before, because we basically just want to access that animator so that we can set that root mesh component. So I'm going to search for root mesh now, set root mesh, and this mesh is going to be the root mesh because we're copying the animations from this mesh right here. Let's save that now, and now we just need to make sure that we're calling this function. So go back to the custom character attach function and drag in the custom character animate function to the end of this blueprint that we made. Drag that in there, and the attached character is going to be this attached character here. So where we're setting the attached character, we'll drag this out and put this into the attached character section there. So take this skeletal mesh, drag it in here, go set visibility, and just drag this into here. Make sure that this is the skeletal mesh and not the mesh. A few things that we want to do to fix the camera. So let's drag in our attached character, get attached character, and we'll just open the capsule component, get capsule component, and we'll drag out from this and we'll type in collision, and we want set collision enabled, and we're going to choose the new type, no collision. And then the next thing we're going to do is just drag out from that attached character again, type in camera, get follow camera, and then we want to type in destroy and destroy the component. So this is basically just removing the camera and collision from our character creator character. Then lastly, just go into the viewport, take the spring arm and move it back about 40. So it will be -40 in the x-axis here. When you play, it should be working. And we can do the obstacle course, the hands are aligning, and everything is basically where the Quinn character would have been. So now you might be wondering how to use a different appearance with your character. So when you create a custom character, how do you edit the appearance of the player character? And to do that, we'll go into this custom character attach function that we made. And you can see here, when the spawn actor component happens, we can see the appearance here, eCharacters dynamic enumerator. So let's drag out from this and we'll promote this to a variable called appearance. And here we can now set our appearance for this character. If you wanted to create multiple player characters, you could create child blueprint classes and then select a different default appearance for each character. This one's currently default. If I open the character creator, and if I just play this in a new editor window, I'll just quickly customize a character as an example. Okay, I'll finalize this and I'll just save a character and save this. So now you've got another preset here. Close the character creator and then go back to your retargeted characters blueprint and just simply change this appearance here to your new character. Compile and save. It's now changed to the character that we've just made in the character creator. So the reason why I add the characters this way is so that you can use all of the customization features from the character creator blueprint. If you just, start adding modular parts into the game animation sample character, you'll miss out on all of the blueprint features that the characters include.